All praises, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessing to the elect of Israel who are practicing the law of liberty. Today we will continue our reading in the book of the secrets of Enoch. We will begin with chapter 14. And like I always say, I try to keep these between 15 and 20 minutes. So we'll read until we get to about 20 minutes, I guess. So let's go. And again, those men led me away to the western part and showed me 6 great gates open, corresponding to the eastern gate opposite to where the sun sets, according to the number of days, 365 and a quarter. Thus again it goes down to the western gate and draws away its light, the greatness of its brightness under the earth. For since the crown of its shining is in heaven with the Lord, and guarded by 400 angels, while the sun goes around on wheel under the earth, and stands 7 great hours in night, and spends half of its course under the earth. When it comes to the eastern approach, in the 8th hour of the night, it brings its light in the crown of shining, and the sun flames forth more than fire. Chapter 15. Then the elements of the sun called Phoenix and Chokdi breaks into songs. Therefore, every bird flutters with its wings, rejoicing at the giver of light, and they broke into song at the command of the Lord. The giver of light comes to give brightness to the whole world, and the morning guard takes shape, which is the rays of the sun, and the sun of the earth goes out and receives its brightness to light up the whole face of the earth. And they showed me this calculation of the sun's going. In the gate which is entered, there are the great gate of the computation of hours of the year. For this reason, the sun is a great creation whose circuit lasts 28 years and begins again from the beginning. Chapter 16. Those men showed me the other course, that of the moon, 12 great gates crowned from the west to the east, by which the moon goes in and out of the customary times. It goes in at the first gate to the western place of the sun by the first gates with 31 days exactly, by the second gate with 31 days exactly, by the third with 31 days exactly, by the fourth with 31 days exactly, by the fifth with 31 days exactly, by the sixth with 31 days exactly, by the seventh with 31 days exactly, by the eighth with 31 days exactly, perfectly, by the 9 with 31 days exactly, by the 10th with 31 days perfectly, by the 11th with 31 days exactly, and by the 12th with 28 days exactly. And it goes through the western gates in the order and number of the eastern, and accomplishes the 365 and a quarter days of the solar year, while the lunar year has 354. There are wanting to its 12 days of the solar circle, which are the lunar apex of the whole year. Thus, too, the great circle contains 532 years. The quarter of a day is omitted for 3 years. The fourth fulfills it exactly. Therefore, they are taken outside of heaven for 3 years and are not added to the number of days, because they changed the time of the years to 2 new months towards completion, to two other towards the diminution. And when the western gates are finished, it returns and goes to the eastern, to the lights, and goes thus day and night about the heavenly circle, lower than all circles, swifter than the heavenly winds, and spirits and elements, and angels flying, each angel having 6 wings. It has a 7-fold course in 19 years. Chapter 17. In the midst of the heaven, I saw armed soldiers serving the Lord with tympana and organs, with incessant voice and sweet voice, with sweet and incessant voice and various singing, which it is impossible to describe, and which astonishes every mind. So wonderful and marvelous is the singing of these angels, and I delighted listening to it. Chapter 18. The moon took me on to the 5th heaven and placed me, and there I saw many and countless soldiers, called gargoyle, of human appearance, and their size was greater than that of great giants, and their face wither, in the silence of their mouths perpetual, and there was no service on the 5th heaven. And I said to the men who were with me, wherefore are these very withered, and their faces melancholy, and their mouths silent? And wherefore is there no service of this heaven? And they said to me, these are the gargoyle, who with their prince Sentinel rejected the Lord of light, and after them are those who are held in great darkness on the 2nd heaven. And 3 of them went down onto the earth from the Lord's throne to the place Imron, and broke through their vows on the shoulders of the hill of Imron, and saw the daughters of men how good they are, and took to themselves wives, and befouled the earth with their deeds, who in all times of their age made lawlessness, and mixing, and giants are born, and marvelous big men, and great enmity. And therefore God judged them with great judgment, and they weep for their brethren, and they will be punished on the Lord's great day. And I said to the Gorgon, I saw your brethren and their works in their great torment, and I prayed for them, but the Lord had condemned them to be under earth, till heaven and earth shall end forever. And I said, wherefore do you wait, brethren? Do not serve before the Lord's face, and have not put your services before the Lord's face, lest you anger your Lord utterly. And they listened to my admonition, and spoke to the 4 ranks in heaven. And lo, as I stood with those 2 men, 4 trumpets trumpeted together with great voice, and the Gorgon broke into song with one voice, and their voice went up before the Lord pitifully and effectually. Chapter 19. And thence those men took me and bore me up on to the 6th heaven, and there I saw 7 bands of angels, very bright and very glorious, and their face shining more than the sun shining, glistening, and there is no difference in their face or behavior or manner or dress. And those makes the order and learn the goings of the stars, and the alteration of the moon, or the revolution of the sun, and the good government of the world. And when they see evil doing, they make commandments and instruction, and sweet and loud and singing, and all songs and praise. These are the archangels, who are above angels, measure all life in heaven and on earth, and the angels who are appointed over seasons and years, the angels who are over rivers and seas, and who are over the fruits of the earth, and the angels who are over every grass, giving food to all, to every living thing, and the angels who write all the souls of men and all their deeds and their lives before the Lord's face. In their midst are 6 phoenixes and 6 cherubims and 6 winged ones continuously, with one voice, singing one voice, as it is not possible to describe their singing, and they rejoice before the Lord at his footstool. Chapter 20. And those 2 men lifted me up thence onto the 7th heaven, and I saw there a very great light, and fiery troops of great archangel and corporal forces and dominion, ordering and governments, cherubims, seraphims, thrones, and many eyes, 9 regiments, the loathed station of light. And I became afraid and began to tremble with great terror. And those men took me and led me after them and said to me, Have courage, Enoch, do not fear, and showed me that the Lord was afar, sitting on his very high throne. For what is there on the 10th heaven, since the Lord dwelt here? On the 10th heaven is power. In the Hebrew tongue, he is called Avet, A-R-A-V-A-T, Avet. And all the heavenly troops will come and stand on the 10th steps according to their rank, and would bow down to the Lord, and would again go to their places in joy and felicity, singing songs in the boundless light with small and tender voices, gloriously serving him. Chapter 21. And the cherubims and seraphims standing about the throne, the 6-winged and many-eyed ones, do not depart, standing before the Lord's face, his will, and cover his whole throne, singing with gentle voice before the Lord's face, Holy, 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 Lord, ruler of Sabaoth, heaven and earth, and full of glory. When I saw all these things, those men said to me, Enoch, thus far is it commanded us to journey with thee. And these men went away from me, and thereupon I saw them not. And I remained alone at the end of the 7th heaven, and became afraid, and fell on my face, and said to myself, Woe is me, what has befallen me? And the Lord sent one of his glorious ones, the archangel Gabriel, and he said to me, Have courage, Enoch, do not fear. Arise before the Lord's face into eternity. Arise and come with me. And I answered him and said in myself, My Lord, my soul is departed from me, from terror and trembling. And I called to the men who led me up to this place. On them I relied. And it is with them I go before the Lord's face. And Gabriel caught me up as a leaf caught up by the wind, and placed me before the Lord's face. And I saw the 8th heaven, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Mazoloth, changer of the seasons, of drought and of wet, and of the 12 signs of the zodiac, which are above the 7th heaven. And I saw the 9th heaven, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Kokavim, Kuchavim, Kuchavim, where are the heavenly homes of the 12 signs of the zodiac. Chapter 22. On the 10th heaven, Avatar, I saw the appearance of the Lord's face, like iron made to glow in fire, and brought out, emitting sparks, and it burns. Thus I saw the Lord's face. But the Lord's face is infallible, marvelous, and very awful, and very, very terrible. And who am I to tell the Lord's unspeakable being and of his very wonderful face? And I cannot tell the quality of his many instructions and various voices. The Lord throne very great, and not made with hands, nor the quantity of those standing around him, troops of cherubims and seraphims, not their incessant singing, not their immutable beauty. And who shall tell of the infallible greatness of his glory? And I fell prone and bowed down to the Lord. And the Lord with his lips said to me, have courage, Enoch. Do not fear. Arise and stand before my face into eternity. In the archestrategy, Michael lifted me up and led me to before the Lord's face. And the Lord said to his servants, tempting them, let Enoch stand before my face into eternity. And the glorious ones bowed down to the Lord and said, let Enoch go according to thy word. And the Lord said to Michael, go and take Enoch from out of his earthly garments and anoint him with my sweet ointment and put him into the garment of my glory. And Michael did thus as the Lord told him. He anointed me and dressed me, and the appearance of that ointment is more than a great light, and his ointment is like sweet dew, and it smell mild, shining like the sun's rays. And I looked at myself and was like one of his glorious ones. And the Lord summoned me one of his archangels by the name Pravil, whose knowledge was quicker in wisdom than the other archangels, who wrote all the deeds of the Lord. And the Lord said to Pravil, bring out the books from my storehouses in a reed of quick writing, and give it to Enoch, and deliver to him the choice and comforting book out of thy hand. Chapter 23. Of Enoch's writing, how he wrote his wonderful journey in the heavenly apparitions, and himself wrote 366 books. And he was telling me all the works of heaven, earth, and sea, and all the elements, their passage and going, and all in the thunderings of thunder, the sun and the moon, and the going and changes of stars, the season, years, days, hours, the rising of the wind, the number of the angels, and the formation of their songs, and all human things, the tongue of every human song and life, the commandments, instructions, and the sweet voice singing, and all things that it is fitting to learn. And Pravil told me, all the things that I have told thee, we have written, sit and write all the souls of mankind. However, many of them are born in the place prepared for them to eternity. For all the souls are prepared to eternity before the formation of the world. And all double 30 days and 30 nights. And I wrote out all things exactly, and wrote the 366 books. So we'll stop there. Hope this reading was a blessing to you. Hope you listen to it a couple times and meditate on it. May the Lord continually bless you.